right, day two. So I got up this morning, went to Walmart and O'Reilly's. Well, I just went to Walmart to return the core for the battery. I went to O'Reilly's to get a gasket. So on the timing chain cover, there is a gasket here, and it needs to be pounded in and pounded out, basically. So I just decided that I wanted to change it before when I put this back together. So I picked that up today. I replaced it, so I just used a socket that was pretty close in size. I used a rubber mallet, kind of banged it out, banged a new one in, just made it so it's flush on both sides. If you do replace this, the solid side goes outside and the open side goes inside. Just one of those things that while I'm in here, I might as well do it. So, sit rep. We've got our timing chain installed, we've got our gears installed, we've got our guides installed, we've got our this little clock wheel installed, which this is for the crank position sensor to know where the position of the crank. I pulled the battery out this morning, like I said, to return it to Walmart, get my core. So yeah, next thing we're going to do is we are going to get the valve cover installed. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to apply some gasket maker to this cover, and we're also going to apply some to the engine, specifically where these joints are. So like right here where the head meets the block, both sides, just kind of where the valleys are to make sure that we're full. Really, that's probably overkill. We're going to have enough here that when we torque it down, it's going to squeeze out anyway. But so I'm using Permatex Optimum Max Torque gasket maker, high temperature. Really, I think black or red or any of them would work just fine for this. This is the best one that they sold, so I just figured it would be easier to buy the best one and just be done with it. So here's what it looks like with the Permatex Applied. Just kind of that whole length. You want to steer clear of this. It's an oil passage. You also want to get these. There's two standoffs kind of in the middle, and down this whole side, like that. So, get this installed. All right, so we've got the cover installed. For the most part, stuck the tensioner in the back and cranked it around with our ratchet. You can see the tensioner release. The tensioner is back there on the back side of the cover. Now I'm just cleaning up my battery terminals because they were pretty gross. Put battery in, and then I'm going to compression test the engine and see that all of the cylinders have similar amounts of compression. Then we have to put the pan on, we have to put the plugs in, the injectors in. So we got the valve cover reinstalled. That tightened back down. There's a bunch of 10s. So there's 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. On the top, there's two long 10s. So you'll see in the valve cover bolts, there were 4 short 10s like this. There are 4 that are slightly longer. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. There are like 10 that are slightly longer. And then there are 2 that are really long. 2 really long ones are these guys. The medium length ones are these that go around the edge. These 4 short ones here are for the injectors. I'm not putting the coils. I'm not putting the coils back on yet because I don't want to I don't want to risk the car starting without a pan. So I might bolt them in here really quick, but I'm not going to plug them all in, that harness there. I did connect the 2 valve breathers. There's one here and one here, and bolted this harness back down. It's got a short 10. So at this point, what's left is the accessory pulley, the accessory belt, along with the tensioner pulley, which is there, and the idler pulley, which is underneath the car. The subframe brace needs to be installed, and the engine mount needs to go back on. And that's really it. I can put the valve cover back on after I've got my coils plugged back in, but hopefully we're moving in the right direction. Alright, so I failed to start. I did notice though the coolant tank was low, so I thought that was interesting. Added some water to it and it started pouring out of the water pump. So this is the factory water pump. It has a lot of play back and forth, if you can see. And it's leaking through these 2 holes. This is a new one that I just picked up from, this was from AutoZone. Again, no reason why, they just happen to have it in stock. So I picked that up from AutoZone. I'm going to get that installed here, see if it makes a difference. Hoping that there is some sort of sensor on the car that says, hey, there's no coolant, and fails to start. That would be awesome, but we'll see. All right, so we put the water pump in, started filling it up, and guess what? Water started pouring out of the exhaust manifold. Yay. So it turns out that our head must be cracked. So I guess we're putting an engine in the Scion. Yay.